Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few forwards I look to sell and trade this week. The first forward, Trey Murphy, the third of the New Orleans Pelicans. It's been a breakout year for Trey Murphy, no doubt about it. On the year, 21.6 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 1.2 steals, 3.1 threes, and 44% from the field. But the last couple weeks, his numbers have gone up even more, 25.8 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.6 steals, 1.2 blocks, 3 threes, and 46% from the field. So right now, playing major minutes, 35, 40 minutes per game, is Trey Murphy for this New Orleans Pelican team. And he's giving fantasy owners 5-6 categories at times on this hot streak. January 15th versus Dallas, 24 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, a steal, 3 blocks, 2 threes, 38% from the field. January 17th versus the Jazz, 19 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes, 54% from the field. And January 20th versus Jazz, 24 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 4 threes, 40% from the field. So Murphy's playing great basketball. But the thing is, Zion Williamson, he's been back over the last week. I know every other game he's playing right now, and Ingram's been out a while, but if both those guys, or at least one of them, plays consistently, I think the numbers are going to drop for Trey Murphy. So right now, well, he's on a hot streak, doing a lot of things, and I pretty much think he's at peak value. Unless somehow the Pelicans get rid of Zion or Ingram, or maybe both at the NBA trade deadline within the next few weeks, I just believe Murphy's touches per game are going to go down, scoring is going to go down, and then obviously his value won't be at peak like it is right now. So right now I would dangle Murphy on the trade block and see if I get someone to overpay for him this week. The next player, Paul George of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Paul George, to be honest, I would just trade him off and see if I could get anything of decency. Paul George in and out of the lineup all season long, and he's missed more games, it seems like, than he's played on the year, and his numbers have taken a big hit as well from last year to this year on the season. 17.2 points a game, 5.9 boards, 4.7 assists, 1.8 steals, 2.4 threes, and an awful 42% from the field. But last month for George, 18.9 points a game, 6.3 boards, 4.3 assists, 1.7 steals, 2.8 threes, and 42% from the field. And this is with Joel Embiid barely playing as well this season, where Paul George's numbers haven't been great. I know before he missed some games recently, he had 25 or more points in those ball games as Paul George, but he's not a healthy ball player. Injuries have definitely taken a toll on him once again this season, missing games early in the season, games here and there he's been missing, and he don't play back-to-backs either. And now George has missed the last 2 games and questionable for tonight's ball game at Denver. So the last few games he's played, in January 10th versus the Pelicans, 25 points, 11 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, 5 threes, 45% from the field. January 12th at the Magic, 25 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, a steal, 5 threes, 50% from the field. Missed the 14th game. And then January 15th versus the Knicks, 26 points, 3 boards, 6 assists, 3 steals, 3 threes, 45% from the field. So the numbers have definitely gone up in the last few games he's played as Paul George, but he's only played 1 game now since January 15th. And this is what we're going to see a lot, I believe, out of George, where he's going to play a couple games here and there. He's going to miss a couple games. And if someone's not available, I just don't want to deal with it. And I think that's the way it's going for George this season, where he'll most likely only finish up with about 35, 45 game range in games played this season. So right now, I would sell him off and see if I could get anything of decency. He's a good talent, no doubt about it, but the availability just hasn't been there. And the third and final forward I look to sell and trade, and he's been on the list a few times this year, LeBron James of Los Angeles Lakers. Another great statistical season for LeBron James, but in terms of metrics, and obviously this Laker team, it hasn't been good in real life in terms compared to fantasy basketball. So on the year, 23.8 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 8.9 assists, 2.3 threes a game, and 51% from the field. So like I said, the stats are great, but in terms of plus minus, it's been awful for LeBron this season. Defensively, he's just not doing much on that end as well. And this Laker team, they're pretty much stuck with the roster they got. They traded their main trade chip in D'Angelo Russell, unless they want to trade Austin Reeves and other players at the deadline for like a Bradley Beal or whoever else they might try to get. So on the last couple weeks for LeBron, 22.4 points a game, 6.4 boards, 8.8 assists, 1.6 steals, 2.4 threes, and 57% from the field. So LeBron James, like I said, the numbers have been there, but we don't know with LeBron at 40 years old if he could get injured in any time and start missing games for this Laker team. And also if this Laker team isn't playing well, you know how LeBron gets sometimes, where at a drop of a hat, he could take some games off. So I think LeBron's going to miss games here and there. I know he's played in the last 4 and he's put up good numbers, no doubt about it. But I just don't trust him towards the end of the season as LeBron James. And I think this is a good time to sell him high while everything's going well in terms of him playing games and putting up numbers. January 15th versus Miami, 22 points, 5 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals at 3-3, 60% from the field. January 17th versus the Nets, 29 points, 7 boards, 8 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 4 threes, 70% from the field. And January 19th at the Clippers, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, a block, 2 threes, 45% from the field. So like I said, the numbers are great for LeBron, but with his age and with things we've seen in the past where even going back to this season, personal reasons, he took off a week and a half was LeBron. He missed all those games for fantasy owners. So right now, well, he's been good and playing basketball, and he's probable tonight with left foot injury management. I think LeBron, before he gets injured, this is a decent amount of games. This is the time to sell them off. So that's a few forwards I look to sell and trade for week 13 of the fantasy basketball season.